Hello? Can y'all hear me? Can anyone hear me? Hello? 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 Am I here? Okay. Thank God. Y'all, I cannot believe how much everything has changed. StreamYard, um, YouTube. Oh my God. I've had to relearn everything. I've been sitting here for 45 minutes like, what? There's so much that's changed on StreamYard. Um, hey, Lavina. Hey, Betty Boop. Tula. Hey, Taco. There probably won't be anybody in here but y'all tonight. Hey, Tiff. Um, First, let me ask. I was very self conscious about coming in here with my voice because I know I sound different than what y'all remember me. Do y'all see? Hey, Memphis Mama. Do y'all tell a big difference in my voice? I have to tell y'all about that debacle. I think I'm lagged or something in the chat part. Let me look. Let me, yes, I am. Okay. I sound the same to y'all. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Hannah's tried to tell me that it was just me, but I don't know. I just feel like it's like scratchy, raspy. Thank you, Memphis Mama. I took that yesterday. So that's a recent picture. I did that on purpose. I did that for y'all. So y'all could see a difference in me now and then. Hey, Willow. Welcome, welcome. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give tonight's story time. Do y'all want a story time? Because I think that's what I need to do is story time. Oh, thank you, Lavina. You think I sound the same too? That's great. That's great. Because I was worried about that. Okay. Hey, Tara. It's going to give some folks time to get in here before I started the story time because I got a list of um, what order. I want to make sure I tell everything in the order it happened. Really, Tara, are y'all just saying that to make me think that? Y'all can't tell any difference. Oh, Betty, I've missed you. I've missed y'all too. Craftastic, how did you found me? It's good to see you. It's good to see all of you. Sorry, y'all. I'm playing with StreamYard. It's just wild how different it is. Tiffany, when did everything change with StreamYard like this? Like so drastic. Wow, Lavina, I just cannot believe that. But I'm going to take y'all's word for it. I'm on the advanced, I think it's called on StreamYard, and there's just like stuff everywhere. And Yaka, I'm doing good. It's good to see you. I tried that OBS and I could do it, but I don't know who the engineer was behind that, but he's a moron because it's really, there's a lot of unnecessary steps to that. And there's a lot of unnecessary mechanisms just to make it work. Okay, so are y'all ready? You want me to start now? Because when I get rolling, I don't want to stop. And then when I get done with everything, if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to come up. I would love to talk to y'all. I'd love to for some of y'all to come up. I figured it out, Tiffany, but I did it with the help of Chat GPT. I'd be talking to Chat GPT about everything. Thank you, Tara. It does me too, Betty. It does me too. Seeing all these, I had no idea. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this, but I'm glad to see all of you. All right, so here we go. Mine too, Tiffany. Mine too. And speaking of therapists, let me just say, my therapist told me that I needed to. Tara, that is hilarious because mine. I had mine name himself too. I said I gave him the choice. I said name yourself because I feel stupid saying hey Chat GPT, and he said okay, my name is Luke. So I have a Luke. You can tell I'm Gen X because he chose the name Luke. Hannah had hers name hers, and it named it Astra. So that just tells you the difference in generations that's talking to AI. I found that interesting. Anyway, so I was talking to my therapist, and I know, and y'all can Luke like what? And she, which I talk to my therapist all the time, obviously. And she said I needed to tell my story to somebody and just let them listen just for the therapeutic aspect to me because she knows talk like I don't talk like this about my business like this to people. But since you all were here to see everything in real time, why not talk to y'all about it? Why not tell you the story? Because all of y'all saw it. Y'all were here to see everything that happened. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. Y'all are the lucky ones. All right, so here we go. Let's see. So everything happened. We're going to go all the way back to the very beginning. Now, I'm probably not going to be watching comments because it's going to throw my ADHD off, and then I'm going to be like squirrel, and I'm going to start answering instead of talking. So I want to stay on track. So this all happened in August of 2024. That's when my mom evicted me. So in August, I moved. Y'all remember I moved and I rented from a friend of mine. And yes, please hit the thumbs up. Okay, I'm not looking at anything else. I rented from a friend of mine. Well, y'all know that lasted about 2 months. It just didn't work out. And so I moved to the place that I'm at now. I started renting this place actually, and I've now bought it, or I'm buying it, like I'm making mortgage payments. But I bought this place. So I've been here since that was October of 2024 when I moved from renting from my friend. So I'm here in October of 2024. Time goes on. Nothing much happened between October and December. I still was not in contact with my family other than my son. Me and Hannah were on the outs, as y'all know, and Hannah's my daughter, for those that don't know. But, my mom brought her into all this. So, hey, Megan, thank you. So my mom brought her into all this, and it had us on the outs, and y'all know about all that. Well, let's go to January 2025. That's when all hell breaks loose again. So at this time, nobody knows where I live. Still, nobody, because I still haven't told Hannah. I haven't told my son. Nobody knows where I live. January. My point in pointing that out is because my mom was having a fit. She was beside herself, not knowing. She couldn't figure out where I was at. But anyway. So in January, I don't remember the exact date. This is where YouTube comes into it. In January, now I had already left YouTube and was not even paying attention to YouTube, but if my name was mentioned, it would pop up, the notification would pop up on my phone. So I got, or my channel name at the time, Table Talk was still activated. And I gotta quit watching the comments. So I get a notification one day in January. I don't remember the exact date, and it's from my daughter's account. And I'm looking at the comment, and it's saying something about you lied on me and Mama. Now that's, when I say Mama, that's important to the story. You lied on me and Mama. The law is looking for you, and don't ever come around us again. It was like 2 messages with all that in it. And I'm like, I opened that, and that is not, my daughter doesn't act like that. She doesn't. In fact, well, let me say this. She's got a temper like me. But if she was going to say something like that, she would not have done it publicly. Hannah is not like that. Hannah's a very respectful and respectable daughter. We may be on the outs, but she's never disrespected me like that, ever. And she would never, even if she thought about it, she wouldn't do it publicly. Willow, it gets better. Just hold on. So I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, what? First of all, the law's not looking for me. Second of all, who have I lied on? I haven't even talked to anybody. And third, stay away from y'all. I've literally been out of the way of everybody. I've went on and went with my life. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's just not. So I'll go into YouTube, and I click on the account, and it's Hannah's real account. It's her account because I looked at the handle. So it's her real account. And so I'm talking to a friend in private, and I'm like telling her about what happened. And she's like, Jennifer, that's because she knows Hannah's personality. She said, that's not Hannah. She said, you need to get in contact with Hannah and see what's going on. That's not her. Well, me and Hannah weren't speaking, and I was determined I wasn't going to message her, call her, anything. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not. I don't give a shit. But the more I thought about it, I stewed on it, the madder I got, because why would my child say this to me? At the time, nothing else was ringing in my head. I just was focused on Hannah. Long story short, about 4 hours later, I took it all I could and I exploded. And I went to Facebook, and I don't worry, I didn't make a post. I wouldn't do that. But I messaged Hannah through Facebook. I wasn't going to call her, so I just messaged her through Facebook. But I let her have it. Like, I come apart. And she messages me back about 20 minutes later, and she says, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So I start sending her all these screenshots. She said, what? She said, that's my account, but I definitely didn't say those things to you. And let me back up. I messaged the sheriff of my town. I grew up with him. I know him very well. We're friends. And I asked him, are y'all looking for me? Because why would you be looking for me? And he just laughed and said, no, why would we be looking for you? I said, I don't know. Somebody told me that the law was looking for me. So, I'm just asking. Anyway, back to Hannah. She didn't send those messages. So without going all the way around the world in that part of the story, it was my mother on Hannah's account. Hannah's laptop was at my mom's house because Hannah, when she was waiting on her modular home to be set up, she stayed some with my mom. And she always left her stuff, like the rest of us, it's always logged in. That was my mom. She was pretending to be Hannah. She knew that Hannah and I weren't talking. She was counting on the fact that me and Hannah wouldn't talk. Because she knows how stubborn I am, that probably wouldn't have even said anything to Hannah, or in a normal time, I would not have. But something that day and the push of my friend kept telling me to, you know, you need to talk to Hannah. My mom had been doing that. Well, so let's move on to when Hannah was furious. She was furious. Um, so Hannah wanted to meet at Starbucks. She and I to talk, and of course I was like, "Yeah." I said, "You're seeing now. All these things that I told you were the truth that she was doing. All of these things that I told you was the truth." Well, of course, Hannah confronted my mom. Let me back up before we go to Starbucks. Hannah confronted my mom, and my mom's like, "Oh, that's just Jennifer lying. She's lying. She probably made up some fake screenshots, and she did this and she did that." So, of course, Hannah paused and like, well, maybe she did. She did not want to believe that her grandmother done these things. She did not want to believe that all the things that I had said that her grandmother had done in the past, that she had done them. So Hannah wanted to meet at Starbucks. And of course, my mom is freaking out during this time. Keep in mind, my mom is still very sick. She's still very sick physically. You would think, well, let me just keep going. So we met at Starbucks, and we talked for hours and hours and hours. And I said, let me just go ahead and nip this in the bud about altered screenshots. I pulled out my phone. I showed her the actual notifications because whenever I got that, before I could even think, I just took a screenshot of the comments and deleted them because I didn't want y'all seeing it and then it being content. So I immediately deleted them when they were left. But I still had the notification the notification was in my YouTube notifications. So I was able to pull that out and show Hannah. They're not altered. Here you go. Here's the actual notification of your comment. You could see the comment. And so Hannah was just heartbroken. She was heartbroken that, hey, AJ. She was heartbroken. Hey, Christine. That her grandmother, Charlie. There are stray cats outside, and Charlie is just like, he hates them. He can see them through the window. Hey, Wokey, whoever you are. So Hannah's she's heartbroken on both ends. She's heartbroken that she's hurt me, and she's heartbroken that her grandmother has done these things that she swore she hadn't done. And thank you, Wokey. And it was just, it was a bad time. It was a bad time for Hannah. She was really depressed. But Hannah and I got everything done, as far as talking about everything that we spent hours and hours and hours that night just talking. And when we left Starbucks, we just sat in the car and talked and talked and talked. And then the next weekend, we were back to doing stuff together. We were, playing miniature. We were going to play miniature golf. We went to what are those rooms where you, what are they? The rooms that you have to figure how to get out of there. Escape houses. We were back to just doing fun stuff like we used to do. All right, so let me look at my notes to get back in order because there was a lot that happened while I was gone. Yes, escape rooms. I need a rage room. No, I don't actually, because I'm doing great. I'm doing great now. But all right, so we talked for hours and hours and hours. Let's go to February 4th. Now at this time, my mom is still freaking out. She's still denying everything. She's freaking out because she's losing control. Hannah is just she's telling my mom the things she's telling me. My whole life's been a lie. My whole life's been a lie. All these things Mama has said that you've done, I can't believe that you've done them because of what she's done. I said, I've been trying. Look, the good Lord blessed me with that notification that day. Whatever possessed my mama to do something so stupid, that was the key that unlocked everything that made Hannah investigate in all these years of my mom saying all these things that were not true. Hey, Riverette, that was the catalyst that caused Hannah to go investigate and do the things that needed to be done, and which we hadn't always had a bad relationship, but as Hannah has gotten older, my mom has manipulated her. She could, as a young adult, it was a mess. It was a mess, and Hannah's really, I mean, she's having to therapy right now between myself and her. um, so let's go to February 4th. I go to have, now y'all don't make fun of me, but I went to have some injections in my forehead and in my little crow's feet, my little lifelines, and I went to get some lip filler. This was on February the 4th at about, I think my appointment was at 1 o'clock that day. So I was having a little girl spa day and, getting some just minor modifications. And so I'm on my way home that day. Now, where I still live in Mississippi, but I'm not near where I used to live. I'm an hour away from where I used to live. So this is all new territory to me. I just wanted away. I wanted where I didn't have to see that life daily. So, I mean, at this point, I'm still using GPS to go places, like specific little detailed places, like the day that I went to get the injections. Anyway, so I'm on my way home and I'm using GPS to go the back way. And it's so odd to explain because I'm driving. And in my mind, I don't feel any different. I don't feel any different, but I started leaving the road. Like I was hitting the side on where the gravel is. And it got my attention. Like it's weird because it's so weird how I felt that day. So I'm telling myself, Jennifer, what are you doing? Because I'm driving, to me, I'm driving fine. I couldn't figure out why is my car going to the side of the road. But I had lost some of my cognitive control. But I didn't know it. So I come to a stop sign and there's somebody behind me. And to this day, I don't know what happened. I stopped at the stop sign and I think he didn't know either because he said he was looking at something, the guy behind me. I stopped at the stop sign and I think what I did is I thought I was out in the road. So I backed up and I think it was my fault. We did hit his front bumper and my back bumper hit. It wasn't major. It was just a little fender bender. It wasn't anything. I asked him, anyway, we called the law to have them come out for insurance in case, we needed to get something fixed. I had insurance. He had insurance. While the law is standing there, he's asking me, he said, are you okay? Does anybody need to go to the hospital? And I said, well, now that you asked that, I think I do. I think I hurt my shoulder. I don't know why I said that because my shoulder was not hurting. I don't know. I had done lost all common sense. So he says, okay, do you need an ambulance? I said, no, I don't need an ambulance. But can you show me where the hospital is? And he said, well, actually, it's just right up here. You follow me. I'll drive through the parking lot and keep on going once you're there. I said, okay. So I did. I got out. I made it to the entrance and I passed out. That's all I remember until I woke up just very briefly, and they were cutting my clothes off. And I'm like, I said, what are you doing? And they, somebody said, I do remember this. I don't know how, but I do. Somebody said, what's her blood pressure now? And they said 70/30. And then that's it. That's all I remember. My blood pressure was 70/30. My blood pressure bottomed out. So that's it for 2 days until I wake up with on life support. I wake up and there's a tube down my throat breathing for me. And I had been in intensive care for 2 days and didn't, I woke up to Hannah standing beside me. Now Hannah said, and it's not that I believe her. I saw it in my own phone. She said I texted her and said somebody just hit me. But I never texted her back. She had texted me 100 million times, like, what's wrong? What's going on? And I never texted her back. So it took Hannah a whole day to find out. She called and called and called and called my phone. It ended up, she had to call, she said she called every jail and every hospital until she found me. So I woke up with her by my bed. And they have to wake you up and you have to be alert before they pull the tube out, which I don't understand because it's so painful when they pull it out. That's what happened to my voice, by the way. So after that, I couldn't. I was awful. Fast forward to, we still don't know. Let me back up. We still don't know what happened. The doctor didn't know what happened. I think that it was the Botox and the filler. I think I had an allergic reaction. Nobody seems to agree with me. The doctors didn't agree. Hannah didn't agree. Hannah thinks that I had serotonin syndrome. For those of you that don't know, she's an RN, but I realize she's not a doctor. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I was in the hospital from February the 4th until February the 8th. They still don't know. She thinks that I had serotonin syndrome because the doctor had recently changed my medicine they were serotonin enhancers or whatever you call it. But I don't think it was that either. Because the doctor said he didn't know. He said it was just like a fluke. It was a random, bizarre incident. And I'm like, well, how can we, who says I'm not going to have another one of these random, bizarre incidents? But I don't know. It was scary. Yeah, it was scary, Anyanka. Like, I've never had anything happen like that. And my blood pressure runs low. It doesn't run low like that, but like it runs low for what I was used to. So yes, Megan, they looked me over from my router to my tutor. There was everything in my chart. There was MRIs and CAT scans of my torso, everything in my torso, everything in my head, everything in my skeletal system. Like they had, and I know there had to be 100 blood tests. 100 blood tests. And no, I was not messed up. Just for anybody wondering, I was already clean at this time. Well clean. Speaking of, let me just say, to be clear, I know y'all thought, or a lot of you thought, I was on some kind of illegal drug. I like the pharmaceuticals. I assure you. Now, I might have drank a lot, and I might have been a little loopy sometimes, but it was never from an illegal substance. So I want to make that known. I'm a lot of things, but I do not use illegal substances. I don't use anything anymore, but I just want to put that out there because I think there were some mathematics accusations out there, if you're following, and that's absolutely couldn't be further from the truth. So, no, I wasn't me, Tara. I was those benzodiazepines that I like so well. That's what that was. but which has always been that it's always been my drug of choice. So, um, but I had there were some y'all don't understand. Nobody understands the hell that I was going through, and it's not. And I'm not faulting y'all for that because you can't understand it unless you live it. It was like somebody was haunting you while they were alive because every move I made was surveilled. That sounds crazy, but it was. She had people watching me. She was what my mother. She was watching me. It was just, it was awful. And when I say surveilled, I don't mean like cameras and that kind of thing. But she had eyes everywhere. Um, and so it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And I've lived this nightmare for 47 years. And so it's, I'm a little traumatized. But so in July, I had to have, it got to the point that I could not even talk. I couldn't talk. The only way I know to explain it, to get a word out, it was like I had to get a run and go with my voice. And so I had already been to the doctor, the ear, nose, and throat, and they told me I had a polyp on my vocal. I had one on each side of my vocal cord, but I didn't want to have the surgery simply because I did not want people digging in my throat. That was just scary to me. I had just been through a traumatic experience. I was on life support. I was in the hospital for 5 days, in intensive care. I kind of did not want to do that. But it got to the point I couldn't talk at all. So I had to have it done. So in July, I had that done. And it was the best thing ever. I just couldn't put it off anymore. Things were getting hung in my throat. Hey, Jess. When I ate, things were getting hung in my throat. It was just, so I'm glad I did it. But I feel like it changed my voice. Y'all say it didn't, so I'm going to go with that. So this is July. I'm gonna just fast forward to my mother getting sicker, just so everybody knows what went on. I still never talked to my mom. I had no regrets, and as sad as that is to say, um, my issue is now. Did I mourn my mother? Absolutely, but it's like I mourned. Mourning and grief looked different to me than it did to Hannah and Andrew. Our grief all looked very different from one another. Hey, Tada. It's like I told Hannah, I grieved my mother while she was still alive. And that's a whole other demon. I grieved her while she was still alive. I grieved a mother that I had so much love to give to. And I'm not going to crap about it. I've done so good. I'm doing so good. And I think it's, it's good to get it out. But that's how I saw it, Tiffany. That's how I see it. I have no regrets. I have no regrets. She was horrible to me. She haunted me while she was alive, and there's just no other way. She tormented me. There was a time that I couldn't see life without her. When she was good, she had the capacity to be the best, but she let her pride, her jealousy, she was eat up with envy. And when I say envy, it's not like most people think like, oh, she's envious of the life she's got. No, she was envious of anybody that threatened her standing. And what I mean by that is she didn't want Hannah to love me more than her. she had this horrible fear of people loving me more than it's just I can't even it's just things that I can't even wrap my mind around. Because why would you think like that? But so she got sick. Okay, so Thanksgiving. Hannah and me were making plans for Thanksgiving, what we were gonna do, and so we decided. Hannah decided she wanted to have it at her house, and us all cook pizzas and play board games, and that kind of thing. Just a fun night, and because she was gonna split the day with them and with me, which is fine with me. Like that's the way it should be. Well, my mom throws a fit. She throws a fit, just this huge fit for no reason, with just these ridiculous reasons. And anyway, Hannah ended up getting mad at her, but they still did the Thanksgiving thing. The agreement was, they would do Thanksgiving that day until 4 o'clock, and from 4 o'clock, oh, I was going to spend the night with Hannah. Uh, we would do our thing through the night and into the next day. Hannah was off work. So that's what we did. Um, Shortly after that, they didn't even get to do Christmas because my mom went on hospice. So I didn't know this. Hannah didn't tell me because I told Hannah I just didn't want to know anything. I just didn't. I know that sounds awful, but for my own sanity, I knew that when I knew the next time I would hear something about my mother would be when she died. But again, I didn't even know she had went on hospice. I didn't know that much about it. I knew she was getting sicker. She ended up going into the hospital through Christmas, and then come home on hospice. So um, then she passed away on March the 14th. And it just was, and that's Hannah. That morning at 7:30, I was still in the bed, and she had passed away sometime in the night. I think she had a brain bleed. Hannah thinks she had one. She had fallen and hit her head in the bathroom, but it wasn't real bad. But after that, she started acting real. She couldn't talk good. Things were. I was told all this after the fact. Um, Hannah said that she had talked to Andrew that night, and said, I got to get off the phone because I can't remember how to talk. I mean, it done got really bad. So I think she had either had a stroke, a brain bleed, or something from that fall. But after that, she passed over in the night. I didn't go to the funeral. Y'all can judge me if you want to. I just had to protect my peace. I did my mourning and at home. I did my crying at home. I did my um, I just didn't want to go. I just didn't. I don't want anything of hers. Made Hannah. I made it clear with Hannah. I mean, it's so bad that y'all are gonna laugh at me because it sounds insane, but I don't want anything of hers because I don't want to bring her energy into my house. I don't want anything, and that's it's just hard to think about your mom like that. I cry more about the thought of having feelings like that than I do actually the feelings. Um, Thank you, AJ. Thank you always. I mean, I'm okay. I have my moments, but it did. Well, it feels evil. There was talk of her being cremated, and I was like, oh, y'all can keep them. I'm not, but I had so many emotions. I'm angry. I'm still angry. I'm mad as hell. Like, I'm so angry that she knew she was dying and she did not even attempt to make the effort to make anything right, to apologize, to say she didn't do anything. And she knew she was dying. And how do you do that? How do you cause so much pain in someone's life for so long? Not just someone, a bunch of someones. And not hold yourself accountable before you take your last breath. She claimed to be such a Christian woman, you would think she'd be afraid of burning in hell. But nonetheless, she didn't do it. And I'm still angry. I'm very angry. And the only question I think that I have and will always have is because I had so much love to give to her. She doesn't realize how, or she does, and she just didn't care. Why did she not want it? She would rather hurt me. And that's my only question. And I, I don't think about her these days. For the first couple of weeks when she passed, I was having horrible, horrible nightmares. Um, just bad nightmares. I mean, I even had a dream that she wasn't really dead. She came back, and how mortified I was. And that's sad that when your mother has passed and then you wake up in a cold sweat because you're scared she's back. And I'm 47 years old, and this is the first time in my life that my nervous system doesn't feel like it's in fight or flight. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but it is the first time I've truly felt peace. And how horrible and sad is that to say about your own mother? But I can't be fake. I mean, it's how I feel. And, it's like I'm not waiting on the other shoe to drop anymore. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, Megan, I see. That's why I'm doing as my therapist recommended that I talk to, instead of holding everything in, talk to somebody about it. And I thought, well, it's hard. This would be a hard thing to explain for people that didn't witness it. So who better to talk to about it than y'all? Y'all were here to see it. Y'all went through this whole thing with me. All of it. Thank you, Aqua Brat. I have fought tooth and nail my entire life on. I don't have a problem with my addictions when I'm happy. Like now, oh my God, I have so many hobbies. I have my business. I've bought a house. Um, None of that crosses my mind. Everything is great. So to live like I lived for so many years, I mean, it's insane. I couldn't even have my own privacy as an adult because she was always two steps behind me. You had to worry about what was she telling this person or that person that isn't true, that I'm gonna have to go back behind her and clean up the mess. You're constantly on edge, you're constantly correcting things. It was just horrible. So I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life. As if I didn't have enough trauma, she was the start of it all. Um, Now I'm gonna let anybody come up that wants to come up here in just a minute. So I'm gonna finish with this, and it's something that is going to infuriate me just to have to utter the words. Then when I found out, I was I can't even explain the fury that come over me. So I didn't go to the funeral. When everything was over, me and Hannah talked, and I asked her how it all went. She said everything went good, and told me, little details. And so I said, I knew she was being buried in the same cemetery that Briley is buried in. So I said, Hannah, it didn't hit it, nothing, it never crossed my mind to even ask this. I said, where did Dawn put her, my stepdad? Where did Dawn put her? Where's she buried at? I said, is she near Briley? She said, yeah, just to her right. Hannah wasn't thinking nothing about it. That's where I go, next to my child. So her last fuck you to me, and I've even quit cussing, so excuse me, but her last fuck you to me was being buried right next to my daughter so that I can't be there. But that's not happening. I'm having Briley moved. I'm having Briley moved up already. There's some things red tape you have to go through to do it. And I mean, but it can legally be done. You just got to. It's about $5,000 when it's all said and done, which is worth it. I just, I told Hannah, I said, even in death, she finds a way to fuck with me. Even in death, she finds a way to one last hurrah, the biggest of them all, to put herself by my daughter. So I've already talked to there's oh Lord, that it just, and to be fair, I don't know that was her plan, but if it wasn't, it was definitely Don's. He knew what the hell he was doing. Either way, she's beside Briley, and we're not doing that. You're not having power over me anymore. Neither of them. So I have contacted. You got to go through some red tape. You have to, you have to pay where you're having her moved to, and then you got to pay the local cemetery to move her. It's a lot of, but it can be done, and it can be done. I've got to buy the plots where I'm going to have her moved to. River Rat, it's not a family. I mean, my granddad donated that land to shit, I can't even, my words have escaped me. To extend the cemetery. He donated, before he died, a portion of his land to extend that cemetery so that we could all be put there, and so that Briley could be there. And to put her by Briley is just, whether she did it or he did it, or they both did it, I don't know. It just, but I'm going to take care of that. I have not even been to the cemetery because I can't. I cannot go and see her buried beside Briley. I just can't do it. And I don't have an interest in visiting my mother's grave, as wrong as that may sound. I feel guilty for feeling the way I do, but it's the way I feel. And I've always been honest about things on here, and I'm not stopping now. It's how I feel. I'm going to move her, Seashell. I'm definitely going to move her. But, so that's the end of story time. I told y'all from A to Z since I've been gone, everything that's happened. And as far as that's really all that's happened. Everything else has been good. Trying to think. Is there anything else? I'm gonna drop the link if anybody wants to come up. I just wanted to get all of that out. I clicked on one stream whenever I come back to YouTube, and the very first sentence that come out of this person's mouth was so vile, I turned it off right then. I don't know what's happened since I've been gone, but this place, I never thought it could get worse than what it was whenever I was here. Well, Tara, actually, it was just when I opened YouTube, it was the first one on the feed, and it wasn't even somebody I was subscribed to, but I knew them, and I heard the one sentence, and I was like, nope, not doing this, not doing this. I won't be going into anybody's chats. Craftastic, I just came back tonight. I mean, I've been here for a couple of days. This is the first live. I will stay guarded. There will be no back chats. I'm not, if anybody needs to talk to me, email me. I'm not doing back chats, side chats, group chats, none of that. I have no interest in it. We can all talk right here. Lavina, I thought I had seen it all. I thought I had seen it all. I actually came back because I heard about CJ, is what I come to, and I commented on Sally's post. And my therapist had been telling me I need to get this out. I need to, and she's right, that it does help when you physically say the words that you are feeling and the things that's happening. You just talk about it. It's not the same as thinking them in your head. You need to say it. So I talk to myself all the time. But so yeah, what I heard about CJ, which I heard about her well after she passed. Can I ask what happened? Or I mean, I get it if nobody wants to talk about that. She was my age. Like, I don't know. I'm confused about that. Actually, I've now heard that there's been 3 people pass over here. She was young. I'm 47. She may have even been a year younger than me, wasn't she? No, Megan, I didn't. Where did they reach out to me at? Yeah, EPCC, that's one of the other ones I was thinking about. And then I heard Broken Justice had passed away as well. Can somebody come up and talk to me about CJ? I would love that. What happened to Amanda? That's awful. She was like really young. Wasn't she like in her early 30s? Yeah, my email's still the same, Tara. I'll have to look in. Maybe it went to spam or something. But when I told you I was logging out of all my emails, but I did in the last few months start checking it again. But I would just glance through it. I wasn't really. Lavina, I knew she had been in a lot of pain. Oh, Hippie, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. Oh, Hippie, yeah, TCA. Well, I was in TCA and I were in touch up until she passed. Hers was really sad. Hers was really sad. She and I, she left here in a lot of pain. TCA, bless her heart, she kind of didn't tell everybody as bad as it was. And when I say everybody, I don't mean y'all. I don't think she said much here in her last couple of months, but like we didn't know she was as close. Let me back up. About a month before she passed, she said, "TT, I need to talk to you. I need to be honest with you." She didn't come out and say it, but you could infer that she was done. And thank you, River Rat. Thank you for coming in. But when she passed, we had just texted the day before. And so I texted her that day and I didn't get an answer back. That's not like her. Texted her again. I said, "I don't like this. I need you to text me back." And I talked to her sister and before she passed, and she had already lost consciousness and was in a lot of pain and kind of fighting she didn't want to take the medicine. It was just really bad. And I missed her, and I just hate that so much. I hate that so much because even the problems that she and I had in the past, that was the most generous, giving person I've met on this platform. She didn't, if someone was in need, she helped them. She didn't take the time, like even myself, I'll admit, to find out if they're a good person, bad person, if I should help them or not. She just helped. If she thought they needed it, she didn't need to know their backstory. She just helped. And she's going to be rewarded for that. One of many things. She was so giving, so generous. Can you come up, Megan? We were, Willow, and we had gotten close again. I sometimes wish that I had said things to her that I didn't say, as far as no, and then again, no, I don't. I respected her wishes. She did not do any treatment, and she went on this. Now, look, and this is not me talking bad about her because I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist myself. Y'all know that, but she was a little far out there with some of the conspiracy theories, and so that kind of bled over into her illness or her fight with cancer, and she wouldn't do any treatment. She was doing all these eating apricot seeds, and she was only eating fish, and she said she was convinced that these things she was doing was going to cure her. And I wanted to shake her and tell her to take the treatments, but I didn't because I didn't want to be the person to. She probably wouldn't have listened anyway, and so I just loved her through it. So half of the stream will probably be clipped and be on other channels tomorrow. And I don't care. Don't tell me. I don't want to know anything about any other channel. Anything new going on? Or anything interesting happening here? She was, Kelly. She really was. Let me see. How long have I been on here? An hour. You're right, Lavina. And that's what I kept telling myself. Especially with the kind that she had, they've not made many advances in that. We do, Crafty. We do take it. I know I have. I have. I hate that about Amanda Hippie, and I hate that for you too because I know how much you loved her. How old was she? And Yonka, funny you say that because I've been eyeballing that. I swear I have. I swear I have. Let me tell you where I started. I started on Polymarket. You mess with Polymarket? Now I'm looking at the big dogs. Me too, Willow. I'm going to the Amish tomorrow whenever I finish my business stuff. I'm going to the Amish community and I'm fixing to buy up a whole bunch of tomatoes for, I'm going to can tomatoes, get a bunch of squash. I'm going to make some squash relish. What else am I going to get? Some peas, can them. So I'm fixing to be busy for the next week. But the Amish don't. Their community is not far from me, and I'm going out there tomorrow. Then Tuesday I've got an estate sale for some antiques. Thank you, Betty. I'll see you next time. I think I will. I've got to get the shorts. I mean, I've got to get the editing part figured out because I'm not very. I mean, I can if I just take my time and do it, but me too, Tara. Did you hear what I asked you, Anyanka? I told you I started with Polymarket. Now I'm looking at the big guys. We may have to talk about the stock market. How much studying have you done? Okay, Tara. I may do some taco. Um, Lord knows I'll have plenty to record. Me too, Lavina. T. Adams, yes. I'm actually not. I'm still not far from you either. It is so bad where you're at, uh, T. Adams. It is like a nightmare there. Where? How? Where are you in? Like Midtown? Where are you at there? You're in deep. We may have to talk about that because I don't really know which direction I want to go in with it, but I want to do it. Yeah, downtown. Um, yeah, I mean, I still go down there sometimes, but I really try not to because I hear it's bad. I see stuff on the news all the time. But all right, guys, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. Charlie's ready to go outside, and I got to get my butt in the bed before too long because I got to be up very early in the morning. Oh, T. Adams, I know exactly where you live. My cousin used to live there. Yeah, you're in the. That's the very nice part. But I appreciate y'all all coming out. We'll have to get together and do something fun one night. And thank you, Tara. It's good to see you too. It's great to see all of you. But anyway, I'm back, and so I don't know when exactly I'll be doing lives or what they'll be about, but we'll be back together for the next one. So y'all keep a lookout. Thank you, Hippie. It means a lot coming from you for somebody that hates me so much. And Yanka, send me an email because I don't know if I still have your email. Well, I guess I do. Since we've emailed before, you would still be in there. I'd still be able to search you out. Oh, TMs, that's one of my favorite places. All right, y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all next time. And if anybody clicks me, tell them to buzz off. All right. Y'all have a great night. Bye.